Hello Aries, this is a timeless reading for you and I'm using my own tarot cards. In the middle of your spread we have the card Destiny, surrounded by joy, devil, poverty and no. So I feel like very strongly, not only because of this poverty card, I mean, okay, it's an obvious indication here, but you know, my poverty card doesn't always have to literally stand for material or financial poverty. But in this reading, it strongly does. I don't know why it's coming up for you, but I feel like this is mainly a financial reading for you. And I feel like you either recently have started to tap into a very cheerful, joyous energy, or you will soon. Coming out of this feeling of being poor. I mean, you could be poor, literally, materially, financially, but sometimes, even when we don't have a lot, we don't think about it or overthink it. Like, if we still have enough, I mean, like, to exist somehow. That we have a home and some food, even if it's the cheapest and, you know, just the cheapest you can find in the supermarket. If we can somehow survive, we are poor, but we can somehow exist. Sometimes we don't bother too much if we are in such a state in life, but sometimes we do bother. And I feel like for many of you, you could have been in such a state for quite a while and bothered a lot about it, like what people think of you, or even if it's not what others think or anything regarding prestige or something like that, it could just be, you know, this constant fear, like maybe tomorrow I will not have enough to even buy the cheapest food anymore, like, you know, this kind of terrible feeling. I feel like this is fading out. It's just vanishing. It just feels, you know, the reading is not even telling me like, yeah, you will soon find a new job or win the lottery or something. It's not about that. It's just, I'm not saying that this won't happen. It's just not that the reading focuses on any external thing that will come towards you. It's just showing me this joy and this carelessness, carefree. You might feel carefree. Not in a dumb way, but it feels as if, you know, with this Destiny card, you are realizing, or you will soon realize that this phase of poverty was a part of your destiny to make you grow inwardly, to make you realize certain things. Which also doesn't mean that you have to stay in this phase. I'm just saying you will soon realize that this was meant to be. So you could have a certain understanding about people and especially, you know, about this whole society and the government, the human psyche, all of this. Even spiritually, you might understand something about money and how it works. And this Destiny card also makes me feel like it's not only that you realize that this was always part of your life path to go through this phase, but it also gives me this positive feeling like you will enjoy this realization so much because it will make you also realize that you are tied to some strings, not in a negative way, like you are caught up in these strings, like it's enforced on you. No, you will see it in a positive way because she's happy in the picture, she's dancing. So you see them more as some kind of strings that guide you, protect you, and take care of you, even if it's uncomfortable sometimes, then it's always meant well as a lesson. It also takes away some kind of personal responsibility from you, because there's something higher that is anyway guiding you, no matter what your own personal will is or what you want to do. It can only work or not work if this higher force wants it or doesn't. Like, this is some kind of huge relief. Deeply trusting this higher process here. Absolutely opposing to the devil energy. The way I drew the devil, look, he has all these people attached to these negative strings. It's the entire opposite of this card. And the devil is in the position of what you have to become aware of, or what you soon will become aware of, what you need to understand. And when I pulled this card, it felt very profound, very deep to me. You will not only understand this on your own spiritual path or as a personal lesson, you will understand something deeply societal, or even, the whole structure of the world regarding finances and money. You will realize that even the rich people, look how I drew the poverty card. It has a double meaning. Like, okay, obviously he is a poor beggar and she's a rich girl, so we can say that he's financially poor. She's financially rich, but she is poor on another level. It's a caricature. Is it the proper English pronunciation? It's an exaggeration, but I had a thought when I, painted it. So there is something that you will understand about that as well, that even the richest people who appear to be financially free, they are not. Because some of them, not all of them, I don't want to say that everyone who's wealthy and successful is bad and suppresses other people, but often it is that way. That you can say they give other people a job, but it's not always only this positive aspect of it. Because sometimes the conditions that they offer their employees are not so good. So this is also not free. They appear to be financially free, they appear to be powerful, but they depend on all the people agreeing to their ideas and their standards. If one day everyone would wake up and not listen to these seemingly powerful and influential people anymore, or one specific person, let's just say it's a king, and everyone decides, no, we don't believe in the concept of king anymore, and what is that anyway? We don't believe in that. Like, no one believes in it anymore, and no one, literally no one will listen to the king anymore. Then the king loses his power. It's only because people have psychologically agreed to something. You will have a realization about that. What you once perceived as very free and wealthy is not actually that free and wealthy. And I'm not saying, again, that having a lot of money is bad or something. There are probably ways where this is totally fine and fair, and where people then, can also support others and who offer good working conditions for their employees. So I don't want to exclude that at all, but that's not the topic here. This reading is about this negative that we have in all societies. And for a few of you, maybe it's not about money, even though I feel that so strongly. For someone else, it could be about another kind of poverty, and something that you always wanted to achieve or have, and you might suddenly realize maybe for years you suffered in this feeling of poverty, and you thought, why is it only this person's destiny? And your destiny is this, no matter how hard you tried. But then you realize, actually, you're in a much better place than you thought, which again also doesn't mean that whatever state you're in right now that you felt uncomfortable with for a long time will not change. It most likely will. But this reading is just about feeling free, even if your external circumstances made you think for a long time that you are not free. It feels like you will find some kind of hole that you can slip through and escape into a very vast freedom that has nothing to do with this person's lifestyle. It feels like it's just beyond poor and rich. Like these two cards, you know, they give me such a good energy, such a good feeling. And the joy card is still in the unconscious position, and I feel like this is, even though you are already joyous and cheerful, this will even get enhanced, it will increase it. I don't know, it also makes me feel like, because we have these strings here again in the hands, like as a symbol for this higher power. Like as soon as you accept this fate and destiny, and you start to love these strings and not perceive them as a kind of burden, but as a kind of guidance and protection, then this higher force will release these strings a little bit, and they become like, you know, then it's not like the power is on top of the person, like the power is now in the hands of the person. Now the hands here have let go of the strings, and now in his palms lies the source of his own power. Like maybe, you know, for a certain amount of your lifetime you had to learn these lessons, so you had to be seemingly trapped in these strings. But as soon as you learned your lesson and you start to love this destiny and understand it and even worship it, then this higher force will slowly release it and put this power in your own hands. Oh, that's so nice. At the top of your reading, in what you like, the outcome is no. And I feel like this is on so many levels. Like it could be that maybe for 40 years of your life, or 30 or 20 or 50, depending on how old you are, or, you know, or 54 years, like the number of the card. It could be that you have experienced a lot of rejection and just closed doors. And I feel like for some of you, you could soon go through a phase where you just could lay down on your bed and you suddenly start to remember so many situations from the past 30 years, as an example, where you were standing in front of closed doors and you felt so terrible about it. You felt so powerless and so rejected and even doomed. Maybe when you really urgently needed something, this door just wouldn't open, and you found yourself in such situations again and again, and you always thought you were cursed somehow. You will suddenly, in this new state of being, look back at these situations and realize it was somehow some kind of blessing that, or protection, that these doors were closed, because maybe behind this door seemingly you thought there was heaven, but probably there was hell, and you expected, like, if you open this door all your problems would get solved, but maybe there was nothing behind it and you would have just fallen down into something. There's an understanding that will bring a lot of relief. At the bottom of the deck we have pretense and wrong direction, which makes me feel like, on one hand, this speaks of, you know, you realizing, like, pretending to be fine with something when you're not. You don't have to do that, pretending to be stronger than you are. Don't take that in a negative way. I'm not saying you're not strong. Just sometimes we feel weak and we feel like we are not allowed to show this weakness, especially regarding, you know, career stuff. We always have to, you know, appear competent and all-knowing, but no one is all-knowing. You know, this false kind of, this, it's just pretense. And there's something that you will realize about that as well. And you will never even try this stuff here again. And even more important than that is the message, the other message of these two cards is that there's a realization about other people's pretense. Like this. This is not as strong and self-confident as it looks like. Like this person is not feeling well in their own skin. Even though, you know, they appear to like their image in the mirror, they actually naturally didn't like it. That's why they had to, you know, get all these surgeries. I know it's a cliche. Yeah, that's coming up for you here. We have acceptance as well. I don't want to dig in too deep. So acceptance is a confirmation, like what I already said in the beginning. There's the acceptance of your destiny. There's the acceptance of certain circumstances when you were rejected, and a very deep understanding. And probably there is also a lot of external shifts that will come in soon, but I'm not supposed to tap into these. Like the focus is really on your inner state, on your emotions here. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for watching.